Hey you unknown viewers, welcome to Elite Guide, a YouTube channel. Before starting video, let me remind you to subscribe to my channel. I think you have seen thumbnail, but also I will say today's topic is ethical hacking from scratch. This is paid tutorial, but I am giving you free. Let's start the video. Introduction to ethical hacking. You may be thinking that it is a cool terminology which will help you to make an impression among your friends and surroundings. Well, you may be right, it can. I also thought the same thing when I have started this. But most of my intentions were to find out the ways of entering into the systems, just like a curious kid playing with an object and finding the number of ways to turn up the object. Hacking has been a part of computing for more than 5 decades. The hackers were not even known as hackers but as practical jokers. The very first hack came in 1878 when the phone company, Bell Telephone, was started. A group of teenage boys, hired to run the switchboards, would disconnect or misdirect calls. The first authentic computer hackers came in 1960s. The smarter students, usually MIT students, had an insatiable curiosity about how things worked. So, the smartest ones created what they called hacks, programming shortcuts, to complete computing tasks more quickly. In some cases the shortcuts were better than the original program. One of the hacks that were created in 1969, was created to act as an open set of rules to run machines on the computer frontier. It was created by 2 employees from the Bell Labs think tank. The 2 employees were Dennis Ritchie and Ken Thompson, and the hack was called Unix. Hacking is the process of finding the possible entry holes that exist in a computer system or a computer network and then entering into them. Hacking is usually done to gain unauthorized access to a computer system or a computer network, either to harm the systems or to steal sensitive information from the computer. Ethical hacking refers to the act of locating weaknesses and vulnerabilities of computer and information systems by duplicating the intent and actions of malicious hackers. Ethical hacking is also known as penetration testing, intrusion testing, or red teaming. A computer enthusiast who does the act of hacking is called a hacker. Hackers are those who seek knowledge to understand how systems operate, how they are designed, and then attempt to play with these systems. Ethical hacking essentials. There could be various positive and negative intentions behind performing hacking activities. Here is a list of some probable reasons why people indulge in hacking activities: just for fun, show off, steal important information, damaging the system, hampering privacy, money extortion, system security testing to break policy compliance. Types of hackers. Hackers can be classified into different categories such as white hat, black hat, and gray hat, based on their intent of hacking a system. Ethical hacking terminologies. In the world of hacking, several terms are common which you should know. These are: first terminology is adware. Adware is software designed to force pre-chosen ads to display on your system. Second terminology is attack. An attack is an action that is done on a system to get its access and extract sensitive data. Third terminology is backdoor. A backdoor, or trapdoor, is a hidden entry to a computing device or software that bypasses security measures, such as logins and password protections. Fourth terminology is bot. A bot is a program that automates an action so that it can be done repeatedly at a much higher rate for a more sustained period than a human operator could do it. For example, sending HTTP, FTP or Telnet at a higher rate, or calling script to create objects at a higher rate. Fifth terminology is botnet. A botnet, also known as zombie army, is a group of computers controlled without their owner's knowledge. Botnets are used to send spam or make denial of service attacks. Sixth terminology is brute force attack. A brute force attack is an automated and the simplest kind of method to gain access to a system or website. It tries different combination of usernames and passwords over and over again until it gets in. Seventh terminology is buffer overflow. Buffer overflow is a flaw that occurs when more data is written to a block of memory or buffer than the buffer is allocated to hold. A terminology is clone phishing. Clone phishing is the modification of an existing, legitimate email with a false link to trick the recipient into providing personal information. Ninth terminology is cracker. A cracker is one who modifies the software to access the features which are considered undesirable by the person cracking the software, especially copy protection features. Its 10th terminology is denial of service attack (DOS). A denial of service (DOS) attack is a malicious attempt to make a server or a network resource unavailable to users, usually by temporarily interrupting or suspending the services of a host connected to the Internet. 11th terminology is DDoS, distributed denial of service attack. Next terminology is exploitation kit. An exploit kit is software system designed to run on web servers, with the purpose of identifying software vulnerabilities in client machines communicating with it and exploiting discovered vulnerabilities to upload and execute malicious code on the client. 13th terminology is exploit. Exploit is a piece of software, a chunk of data, or a sequence of commands that takes advantage of a bug or vulnerability to compromise the security of a computer or network system. 14th terminology is firewall. A firewall is a filter designed to keep unwanted intruders outside a computer system or network while allowing safe communication between systems and users on the inside of the firewall. 15th terminology is keystroke logging. Keystroke logging is the process of tracking the keys which are pressed on a computer, and which touchscreen points are used. It is simply the map of a computer-human interface. It is used by grey and black hat hackers to record logins and passwords. Keyloggers are usually secreted onto a device using a Trojan delivered by a phishing email. 16th terminology is logically bomb. A virus secreted into a system that triggers a malicious action when certain conditions are met. The most common version is the time bomb. 17th terminology is malware. Malware is an umbrella term used to refer to a variety of forms of hostile or intrusive software, including computer viruses, worms, Trojan horses, ransomware, spyware, adware, scareware, and other malicious programs. 18th terminology is master program. A master program is the program a black hat hacker uses to remotely transmit commands to infected zombie drones, normally to carry out denial of service attacks or spam attacks. 19th terminology is phishing. Phishing is an email fraud method in which the perpetrator sends out legitimate-looking emails in an attempt to gather personal and financial information from recipients. Its 20th terminology is phreaker. Phreakers are considered the original computer hackers, and they are those who break into the telephone network illegally, typically to make free long-distance phone calls or to tap phone lines. 21st terminology is rootkit. Rootkit is a stealthy type of software typically malicious, designed to hide the existence of certain processes or programs from normal methods of detection and enable continued privileged access to a computer. 22nd terminology is shrink-wrap code. A shrink-wrap code attack is an act of exploiting holes in unpatched or poorly configured software. 23rd terminology is social engineering. Social engineering implies deceiving someone with the purpose of acquiring sensitive and personal information, like credit card details or usernames and passwords. 24th terminology is spam. A spam is simply an unsolicited email, also known as junk email, sent to a large number of recipients without their consent. 25th terminology is spoofing. Spoofing is a technique used to gain unauthorized access to computers, whereby the intruder sends messages to a computer with an IP address indicating that the message is coming from a trusted host. 26th terminology is spyware. Spyware is software that aims to gather information about a person or organization without their knowledge and that may send such information to another entity without the consumer's consent, or that asserts control over a computer without the consumer's knowledge. 27th terminology is SQL injection. SQL injection is an SQL code injection technique used to attack data-driven applications, in which malicious SQL statements are inserted into an entry field for execution, for example to dump the database contents to the attacker. 28th terminology is threat. A threat is a possible danger that can exploit an existing bug or vulnerability to compromise the security of a computer or network system. 29 terminology is Trojan. A Trojan, or Trojan horse, is a malicious program disguised to look like a valid program, making it difficult to distinguish from programs that are supposed to be there designed with an intention to destroy files, alter information, steal passwords or other information. Its the 30 terminology is virus. A virus is a malicious program or a piece of code which is capable of copying itself and typically has a detrimental effect, such as corrupting the system or destroying data. 31st terminology is vulnerability. A vulnerability is a weakness which allows a hacker to compromise the security of a computer or network system. 32nd terminology is worms. A worm is a self-replicating virus that does not alter files but resides in active memory and duplicates itself. 33rd terminology is cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting (XSS) is a type of computer security vulnerability typically found in web applications. XSS enables attackers to inject client-side script into web pages viewed by other users. 34th terminology is zombie drone. A zombie drone is defined as a hijacked computer that is being used anonymously as a soldier or drone for malicious activity, for example, distributing unwanted spam emails.